have my microphone muted. That, classic Juni. No. Okay, I think everything works, and I know that it should work because I played Overwatch for like an hour or two trying to wait for time to pass. So, yeah, welcome back to Vocaloid 102 part 6, basically, because stream stopped like 6 million times before this. But it should be functional, so I'm really excited. Anyway, okay. Get out of studio mode. Okay. So this is how I'm feeling right now. I had too much caffeine at 11 in the morning. It is more than 12 hours later, and I'm like tired, but at the same time, I'm still like wired. You know what I mean? So like I am like, if my body were a shell, the outside of it is tired, but the inside of it is still very awake. So like my eyes feel tired, but like I feel like I could stay up until like 4. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at right now. So if I start like tweaking out or talking fast, it's because I'm like internally charged with caffeine, okay? Yeah, that's... This is gonna be a time, okay? Because I'm gonna just rant for like however long it takes, right? Because this is my special interest. I'm graduating and I have the floor. But hi everyone. Hi Bear. Hi Jennifer. Hi Jam. Hi Mira. This is Vocaloid 102 by me, Dr. Junipurwood, PhD. I say I have a PhD in Vocaloids because I've been a fan since I was 10 years old. So, how long has that been? Vocaloids have been around since 2004, so like 22 years? Something like that. I've explained this a few times, but the VODs are deleted. So, I've been a Vocaloid fan since 2009, since Deep Sea Girl came out. It might have been 2010, but I watched a flip note on my DSi of it animated, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is beautiful. What is this? Who is this? And it was all in Japanese, so I didn't understand. And I'm not sure how I found it, but I did find Vocaloid YouTube. And the rite of passage of going through experiencing Vocaloid videos and music videos without knowing what they mean was a time. Butterfly on Your Right Shoulder was my favorite Vocaloid song growing up, which probably isn't the best. If you like listen to the meaning, which I did with my brother like a year after I decided that song was my favorite. Yeah, it was fun though, and I recommend everyone to go through like and pick a Vocaloid song and then just keep clicking Vocaloid songs until you find something really weird and like slightly unsettling and then call it a day. That's usually how it goes. Anyway, what's a Vocaloid, guys? Not just Hatsune Miku, by the way. We'll get to that because I have very strong feelings. So, Vocaloid is basically a like vocal synthesizer program. So basically how it works is if you've ever used any software that has MIDI files for instruments, it's basically like that, where you open the software and you can pick the instrument and put the notes on like kind of like a chart and choose the duration and the pitch and everything. I can show you, actually, it'll look better. Boom. So it kind of looks like this, essentially. So how Vocaloid works is someone, a voice actor, will come in and record voice lines. The Japanese alphabet has very simple syllables, so you can go in and be like, ah, eh, e, and, you know, and then you put them in a voice pack, and those same vocal bites can be put in kind of like you see here, and bent a little bit. You see those lines? That's kind of how you like pitch correct and you change it. Also, you like my Kaito cursor. So it's basically you can pitch correct everything and put it on a note and you make music. It's pretty simple. This is like the oldest iteration that I could find of the Vocaloid program. It looked like this. Mind you, it was probably in Japanese. We'll talk about language accessibility in a bit. But basically, the program looks like this. It's owned by Yamaha, the same company that makes the motorcycles and the instruments. And also, I think they make weapons for the government. I don't know. I think that's the case. But that Yamaha made Vocaloid. So whenever you hear Yamaha, you're like, another Yamaha? No, it's the same one. Yamaha makes everything. If you take nothing away from this, remember that Yamaha makes everything. Okay, yeah. Important PSA. It wasn't necessary for me to put this slide on there, but I felt like people should know that Hatsune Miku was not the first Vocaloid. Okay, everyone goes, oh yeah, Vocaloids, like Hatsune Miku. She's like the best, right? And like probably like a one-hit wonder, you know, they made the Vocaloid program and then it was Miku. Boom, done. No. I think, I can't remember what year Miku came out, like 2009? 2010? Probably 2010? Probably 2010, something like that. Yamaha makes everything. True, Miku, yeah. She's not the first. She wasn't relevant for quite some time, actually, so, yeah. All right, I need you to brace yourself for this box art. Okay, I put in pictures of the Vocaloid box art, and I need you to walk with me here, okay? 2 of them look really cool. One of them, just know that it's updated now, and it doesn't look like that anymore, okay? Okay. OG Vocaloids. Okay, so, the Vocaloid program was like, not officially launched yet. They're like, hey, what if we make a vocal synth kind of situation? Let's get some people in here. Let's record some lines. Let's see if we can kind of mess around with software and make something really cool. So originally there were 3 people who came in, did the voice lines, and as you can tell by the box art, 2 of them really pandered to a certain audience. One of them, Sweet Anne. So she looks really cute now. She's like blonde and like has a little ponytail and like looks very anime now. But that wouldn't have been true to the spirit of Vocaloid if I put the new box art. So I had to put the old box art. I hope you can understand. So 3 voice actors came in, sang their thing. I believe the voice for Kaito he used to be an opera singer. I don't know if he still sings opera. I love everything about Naoto Fuga. We're gonna get into it. Wait, what about Leon and Lola? Anyway, the original demos were done with Sweet Anne. I believe Sweet Anne is English, and then they came in and did Meiko and Kaito, and those demos, they were originally called Taro and Hanako, and then by the time the demos came out, they were named Kaito and Meiko in 2003, or it was either late 2003 or early 2004. Sweet Anne is great. yeah, I know. So these were the voice banks that they used, and they're like, hey, check out the cool stuff we can do with our program. This is my favorite Kaito voice bank, by the way. We'll kind of talk about other voice banks and like versions, but that one's my favorite. This is pre-release Vocaloid, okay? Original release, Vocaloid was released in 2004. These other voice banks still exist, but the ones that were like the first ones were Leon and Lola, and they were in English. And then Meiko was released, and then a year later or a few months afterwards, Kaito was released in February. I did put on the slide for Kaito and Meiko that their first debut was in 2003, which is true, but they weren't like accessible yet. Kaito V1 on top, that's what I'm saying. sweet and animeified, pretty cute too. I'm agreeing with you. So this is something I want to talk about, especially that Ube is here. There are voice banks that don't have characters officially. As you can tell with Meiko and Kaito, originally they have characters on their box art, right? But Leon and Lola look like this in canon, like these boxes. And fans have designed character designs for Leon and Lola. You almost never see Lola, ever. People really liked Leon. I'm not sure if when they were first released, if anyone really liked Lola, but I can tell you once the original release happened, it was Leon and Lola came out, and then Meiko came out, and everybody loved and used Meiko for like everything, and then Kaito kind of fizzled out. We're gonna get to that part though. Hello everyone. No designs, you say? Yeah, so basically when a Vocaloid comes out and there's no official design for them, the fandom gets creative and makes their own versions of the character designs. I think it's a VY2. Doesn't have official box art, but fandom has kind of made him this like pink hair, green eyes. He's wearing a beanie and headphones. He's really cute. Like, they really cooked. You can tell like the year it was because it's very like 2010s anime art style. But usually like once the fandom kind of agrees what a character looks like, or they find a character creation that people are like, yes, this is exactly what this character looks like, it kind of spreads. You learn that with Vocaloid, a lot of things are based on the people who use the program and the people who listen to the music, because it's all creation. These are tools that people are given to make music. So it's not inherently like, hey, here's this pre-baked thing. It's like, hey, here's an instrument, play it and share it with other people, basically. Leon the 14th? Leon Kennedy? If you squint and you close one eye and then you close the other eye, he looks just like Leon Kennedy. You're right. Okay. These are the slides that I used last time because nothing has changed. So I just added it again because okay, so obviously they debuted in 2003 with a demo, but they weren't released yet. Kaito was released in February 17th of 2005, I think, and then Meiko was released November 5th of 2004. Okay, so Kaito's original release was February 17th, but he got other versions in the future. I think his second version was released in, I think it was on Valentine's Day. And then there was another release on February 18th. So that entire week, from like the beginning of that week of the 14th throughout that entire week until like the 18th, is like Kaito week. The fandom has just decided that is Kaito's birth week, which is coincidentally a week before my birthday. So I get all this Kaito fan art stacked, and it's my birthday. So I won. I don't know about everyone else, but I'm winning the most. So I'm talking about Kaito first because you guys know me by Kaito, right? He has a few versions of his voice bank. Almost every voice bank has been re-recorded by the same voice actor or voice actress. So those are the updated versions where they go in, they're like, hey, technology is not what it was in 2004. We can record with better mics and better sound quality, and or hey, you've aged and we want to capture your voice in a softer way. So sing all of these syllables softer, and then sing all of these syllables like belting it, and then like sing it whispered, right? And so you create different voice banks based on like the tone of the voice, right? Kaito's V1 voice is so warm. If you know like instrument kind of language when it comes to describing sounds of instruments, there's like warm sounds, like dark sound, there's like bright sound. Okay, you following? So Kaito's like bass sound is like very warm and a bit dark, Mako, I guess, in the same quality is kind of warm, but her higher register is really bright. So kind of like a trombone, I would say, right? Yeah. Me and Kaito got the same birthday. Wow. Congratulations. Yeah. Kaito's age, Pog. Oh, yeah. Okay. So basically, they have the box art and they're used as voice banks, and as people use them and as songs are made for them or covers are made for them, they kind of pick up these fandom traits. And I think Mako didn't really get her full like characterization as like the kind of like 30-year-old wine aunt until younger Vocaloids came out, like Miku and Rin and Len. But there are some like more sultry songs that Mako has been used for, and because she has that warm tone, she kind of works well for more jazz things like Sweet Aunt, for example. So her color obviously is red. She's always been red. Kaito has always been blue. Mako's favorite food is not a food. In fact, it is wine, and it has always been some sort of like alcoholic beverage because her whole thing is like she's like an overworked, underpaid office employee, kind of like a Gretzko, if you're familiar, except like she doesn't hold back as much as a Gretzko does. You know what I mean? Like Gretzko, she tries to act really polite at work and then she kind of crashes out afterwards. Mako's like, listen, I've worked here for too long. Pass the bottle. You know what I mean? There are a lot of songs with Mako, and a lot of times when Mako is singing about like alcohol, sometimes Kaito is there. Like for example, On the Rocks, Kaito's in that one. It's a jazz kind of thing, and it's like, hey, I'm exhausted after work. I hate everything. I'm gonna drink until I have to go to work again. Maybe I'll make mistakes while the drinking happens. But listen, I need this. Okay, so that's that's Mako for you. She's like a very dependable like big sister though, and she kind of gets more characterization in like some of the games. Do you have a Vocaloid playlist on Spotify or YouTube? I might make one for YouTube, but I won't make one for Spotify because I don't want to dox my Spotify. So, yeah. Okay. So Mako, which is really cute, the person who voiced Mako is also named Mako. As for Kaito, not the case. Naoto Fuga. Okay, can we talk about Naoto Fuga, please? Because he's my favorite person. So Naoto Fuga recorded for Kaito when he was in, I think, his late 20s. He was an opera singer and did voice acting stuff, not like active voice acting, but kind of like he was singing and stuff. You know what I mean? So right now, Naoto Fuga is probably like in his late 50s or early 60s, I believe. I don't remember his exact age, but he's like this kind of older gentleman, I guess you would say. And I think he has 2 cats, and the way he treats Kaito is like Kaito is his son. Not like Kaito was me, but like Kaito is like a separate thing for me that I did when I was like 20 something. He has re-recorded for Kaito. He has updated voice banks for Kaito, but Naoto Fuga is like, Kaito is my son and my cats are my daughters. So if you see his Twitter page, you'll see him like posting pictures of little Kaito figurines, and he's like going to the studio with my son, or like a picture of his cats and Kaito, and he's like, my daughter's laying in the sun with my son. He's the sweetest thing. He loves Kaito fan art and anything Kaito related. So if the name Kaito is used, he's in the comment section and he's like, thank you so much for loving my son. I love him too. Wow, this art is so beautiful. It makes me feel so warm. Like, I love him so much. He's the best. I understand how people who drink Tuco can drink every day. I don't know. Yeah. Well, Mako is not real. So she doesn't have a liver she has to worry about. You know what I mean? So a little bit different. My go-to beer mixed with vodka. Wow. Yeah. So obviously his color is blue. Ice cream. Okay, so the ice cream thing for Kaito has to tie in with Miku. So Mako got really popular. People were using Leon and Lola to kind of mess around, do English songs. And Kaito was kind of forgotten for a lot of years. And there was a song with Miku's first voice bank where she's like, "Where's my big brother Kaito? I haven't heard from him in forever. Oh my goodness." And there's this song about ice cream. I don't know the name of the song. Obviously, it's in Japanese. There's a song about ice cream. And so Kaito's character appears in like this little music video someone drew. And it's like, "Oh, I'm not gone. I just went to go get ice cream." And then someone did like a cover of that like Japanese children's song about ice cream. And people really loved it. And they're like, "Aw, big brother Kaito, he's so sweet. He sounds so nice. I actually love him." And then people started using Kaito again. He's kind of depicted as a big brother, but there's some ways where he's depicted where he's like a little too in love with his sister, his younger sister being quote unquote Miku. They're not actually related. Nobody is actually related. Well, for the most part, I'm going to put a big asterisk at the end of that. No one is related, asterisk. Okay. But they kind of have this family dynamic in a way, but it's not canonical. So there are some songs where Kaito and Miku are singing together and it's more romantic, but again, they're not actually related. Just to clarify, just so you know, nothing weird's going on. The written lens stuff, we're getting to that. We got things to go. We got places to be first. Okay, Hatsune Miku is the one that you know. She's everywhere. She's on every branding thing. She's the most marketable Vocaloid, I would say, for now. We're going to talk about Kasane Teto because I know that some of you guys are Teto enjoyers. Okay. The first time I made this PowerPoint, Kasane Teto was not yet a Vocaloid. Spoiler, Kasane Teto becomes a Vocaloid. But if you didn't know she wasn't a Vocaloid, that means nothing to you. We're going to get there though, and then you can be excited the way I was excited. It still makes me tear up a little bit. Okay. Hatsune Miku, Saki Fujita voices Ymir in Attack on Titan and that blonde girl in that Deer anime. I don't remember the name of it, but she's like an active voice actor. Like she still is voicing and stuff. So that's really cool. Hatsune Miku is in Attack on Titan, technically. I get if you want to think about it that way. Her birthday is August 31st, but a lot of people celebrate Miku Day March 9th because it's 3-9 because her name is Miku. So Miku numbers. Right. Color obviously is teal. Okay, so there's a lot going on. So Miku's original color palette was a little bit more teal. Her hair was more teal than aquamarine, but with newer versions of Miku, she's become more aquamarine. But the newest voice, like actual art, her hair is more green, right? Does it matter? No. Some people have strong feelings about the color of Miku's hair, whether it should be more light blue or more green. I personally like the more greeny looking color. This was like the original box art, so me move out of the way a little bit. As you can see, she's in the 3/4 pose, and this has become like a very iconic silhouette and kind of like a meme. So that's her stance in her original outfit. So the silver shirt with the black skirt, but as you can tell, it's changed, it's updated a little bit. She's got white, but it really depends. Miku takes a lot of forms. We're gonna get to it. But she's basically like Barbie, where you can make her look like whatever and she's still Miku. You're gonna see like the range of Hatsune Miku, and if you're a Miku fan, you always know that it's Miku, even if it's not Miku colors. You just know. You know, even if it's not like 2 ponytail Miku, you will know it's Hatsune Miku. Like in your heart, you'll do a soul read and you will know that that's Miku. It happens, okay? She's like very like cheery. She's quote unquote 16, okay? But it's not a hard and fast rule of her being 16. She's a Vocaloid. She's like a Barbie. So again, age is like really flexible. So a lot of people are like, you shouldn't draw her as an adult. She's 16. But then other people are like, she's a template. You know, you can do whatever. So there's no like real like original true stance on it. But I think they tried to make her voice in like the teen age. You know what I mean? There's pink Miku. Yeah, there's a pink Miku. There's blue Mikus. There's green Mikus. Let me show you many Mikus. These are all Hatsune Miku. Okay, so one of my favorite collaborations ever is every year there's a Good Smile Racing Hatsune Miku, and all of the designs are different. They're different colors. She's wearing like a racer outfit. She's always got a checkered flag eventually somewhere. And that Miku's my favorite, the one from 2016, because I like the orange. I think it looks really good. Snow Miku is another thing that happens annually, and the fans kind of get to decide what Snow Miku looks like. So a bunch of people submit their fan designs for Snow Miku every year. And this is the one from 2021. I really like it because she's like holding a hymnal, and I like that her hair is very like square at the bottom. I think the silhouette's really good. So that one is my favorite Snow Miku, and this is my favorite Good Smile Racing Miku. There is a Miku called Sakura Miku where her hair is pink. It's the 2 ponytails still, and she's got these little cherries in her hair, and her outfit is basically the default one, but it's just pink and white. And it's got little flowers, like a little Sakura design on it. You can envision it. I didn't need to add her because everybody knows about that Miku. Now, do you know about the Voltage collab? Pokemon trainer Mikus. This is a green Miku, very green. Her eye color is completely different. It's not teal like it usually is. Her hair is not blue, but it's still Hatsune Miku. Best believe that's my Miku. And then we have this like grayer Miku. Again, her eye color is different. Her ponytails are a different color. Like, that's still Hatsune Miku. This is from Project Sakai. This one right here. Wait, I can actually use arrows. This one. We'll talk about her. You'll know why she looks like that though. Sorry, I had to cough. Okay. Bunch of Mikus. They're all Miku. No Miku is less Miku than another Miku. There's a default Miku, but you know, all of these Mikus are still Miku. Same girl. Okay. Same girl, different, like, AUs, okay? Okay, my favorite Vocaloids of childhood. Kagamine Len was my favorite Vocaloid of all time. Okay, Rin and Len came in the same voice bank at the same time, voiced by the same lady. She did one of the voice packs sounding a little bit more boyish, kind of like, I don't want to say Ash from Pokemon or Naruto, but you know how like they're voiced by women? It's like that, right? So she voiced a kind of more boyish voice, and then she voiced a slightly more like cheery, Genki feminine voice. And then both these voice packs came out together. Kagemine Rin. Rin is the girl. Len is the boy. If you have experienced like idol concerts, it may be complicated because usually to represent your favorite kind of person, you use light stick colors. They're both yellow and share a color palette. So what do? Rin is associated with the color orange, and Len is associated with the color yellow. The fandom kind of decided this because his hair looks kind of like a banana. And then Rin kind of looks like an orange, like if you put the little leaves on the orange. So if ever there is like a need to distinguish them by color, it would be Rin is orange, Len is yellow, basically. Their birthday is on December 27th. Okay, so they're not technically twins. They're mirror images. I think Kagamine means like mirror, right? So they're basically like alternate versions of each other, like the male and female version of like the same entity. But in a lot of the songs that are written using them, they are depicted as twins. they have the same birthday, you know, the same color palette. So almost every time that you see one of them, you see the other one, and they're almost always together. Okay. Characterization wise, mind you, this is like sharing the same internet as JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, right? And Dio Brando is a very yellow themed character, and so everything's a JoJo reference. And Kagemine Rin, like one of her like token items is a road roller, probably because of Dio, which I think is hilarious. So that was like one of her weird fandom things that just happened. A lot of her songs, guys, if you find a Kagemine Rin song from like 2014 to like maybe even 2012 to like 2019, don't look up the lyrics. If you just want to vibe and enjoy yourself, don't look up the lyrics. Don't even worry about it, because she's crazy, actually. If you have been around Chronicle and I when we share a room together, and she mentions jumping into the nuclear reactor, that comes from Rin. Okay, she's like crazy, okay? A lot of the media where she's depicted as a twin, oh my goodness, can we talk about like Evilia's Chronicles? Okay, so there was a series of songs that were made where every Vocaloid represented a deadly sin, okay? I don't think Len counted. Did he count as one of the 7? Probably something stupid. I don't know. Rin was out here killing people, okay? She's almost always killing people. Like, I don't know why they did that with her, but she was like either mentally unstable or going crazy or committing crimes. Okay? She was gone, all right? And you know who always did not benefit from that? Len almost always died in his songs. So there were two parts of Len as just like a Vocaloid in the songs he were used in. Either it's super wildly inappropriate, like do not look up the lyrics, period, or it was I'm a very loving brother to my sister, I will protect her till the ends of the earth, and he just dies. Okay, listen, I need you to hear me out, okay? I'm Catholic, I get it, I understand. I need you to listen to Daughter of Evil and then Servant of Evil, okay? Back to back. If you don't want to listen to it, understandable. Here's the plot, okay? Because everyone's tied in. Okay. I'm gonna give you a brief plot. This is an AU, okay? So this is like not real. This is like alternative reality, because all Vocaloid stuff is real and not real at the same time, okay? It's like everyone is a doll and you can put them in whatever scenario you want. That's basically how Vocaloids work, okay? So in this scenario, Rin is a tyrant queen, okay? And she has a twin brother. They were separated at birth. He is raised to be a servant. She is raised to be the ruler, okay? She's not caring about people at all, okay? Everybody hates her. She's evil, all right? Len is like very diligent, and he's like, listen, I was raised to take care of you. Like, if something happens to you, something happens to me. I am in this for you, okay? Rin wants to marry Kaito, who is a prince in a different region. The issue is, Kaito is in love with Miku, okay? Doubly problematic is Len is in love with Miku, okay? So Kaito rejects Rin because Kaito's like, I'm marrying Miku, and she's like, you know what? You're funny. No, that's not actually happening to me, and I will kill everyone with teal hair. Okay, so she's like, Len, do something about this, because this isn't happening. I will marry him, period, point blank. All right, listen. Len goes, and he's like, okay, let me go see what I can do about this situation. I gotta kill her because my sister needs that, you know, gotta take care of her. And he has to, like, he falls in love with Miku, and he's like, man, well, for my sister, gotta kill her. So did that. Kaito is distressed, and he's like, yo, what just happened? Mako is like a captain of the military, or like a civilian or something, and she rises up and they overthrow the monarchy, okay? And they have her publicly executed. Okay, so from Daughter of Evil, the first song, you just see this tyrant queen get her way, and then she gets justice, right? Because they kill her at the end of the song. What actually happens is when the castle is raided, Len and Rin switch outfits, and Len's like, listen, I will go in your place and I'll die for you. Like, I need you to get out of here. Okay? So you're like listening to this first music video and you're like, yeah, haha, yep. Justice is served. And then you realize that it was Len sacrificing himself for his sister. Then you're like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Yeah. It was very emotional. And then there's this whole like it's a 4-part series. Everyone forgets about the other 2 songs that has to do with like this story in particular. So what happens in the 3rd song is Rin is writing a letter. She's on the ocean, like walking the shore, and she's like, man, I really regret like how I treated you. If I had a chance to do it again, I would have been a better person. And then the 4th song is called Rebirthday, and both of them are reincarnated as this version of themselves. So like as the current Rin and Len. Mind you, none of this is canonical. This is just like a pocket dimension of lore, because if you can write Vocaloid songs, you could just make them do whatever you want, okay? You could just create this beautiful cinematic universe and have people animate it and cook. Okay, that was like the Vocaloid staple, period. There are several other songs that aren't as insane. Don't worry, yeah, there's a lot of normal songs. Like Electric Angel is really cute, and they're just like really adorable and chibi and angelic, and they're singing about being in your computer, you know, like there are cute Vocaloid songs, but just know like some of these songs have lore, okay? Serious like waist deep lore. You gotta get into it, okay? You gotta read the comment section, and this was before auto translate was a thing. So you were like, okay, servant of evil English lyrics, and then you had to scroll through a forum to find what the lyrics meant, and then you had to go to the comment section, and there was no auto translate in the comment section, so you would have to copy and paste all of these Japanese comments about people talking about the song so you figure out what's going on, and then you're like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. And then you watch it again for visual cues, and you're like, okay, when is the moment that they switched outfits? Like, what's going on? Is there any tell in the first song? Like, I was in it. I was in it, right? There's a non-canon song called Kept Waiting for a Response that made me sob when I was younger. Yeah, Nightcore is pitching up an already existing song. True. Yeah. It's, okay. We can, since we're on the topic of Rin and Len, we can talk about pitched up and pitched down Vocaloids. So, if you have experienced Triple Baka and you've seen the joke of, ah yes, Miku, Tato, and the yellow one. The yellow one, Neru, doesn't have a voice bank officially. She is a pitched version of Hatsune Miku, and almost every Vocaloid has a pitched up or pitched down version of themselves. So there's like a quote-unquote boy Miku where it's just Miku's lower register. There's like a girl Kaito where it's Kaito's upper register. That kind of thing exists. So there's like Teto. Kasane Teto has a version of herself, and then there's Ted, her quote-unquote male version, which I think he's very attractive. He has this like really long ponytail and he wears glasses. I think he's handsome. Anyway, not relevant. Okay, Rin and Len, they're always together. They're cute. Len was my fictional crush, and I was obsessed with him, and I still love him, but in my head he's 14, so I'm like, all right, we gotta move past this, you know? So I ended up starting to like Kaito as I got older. Gakupo though, I liked Gakupo when I was younger. We'll get to it. Luca, this is her newer outfit, but if I move out of the way, you can see her older outfit. Something I really like about Luca's outfit is that she's got this kind of crest, like it's a knot kind of thing on her shirt, and it looks like the valves of a trumpet. So a lot of the Vocaloids have motifs based on music stuff. I do want to show you a little secret though. Hatsune Miku has a 1 on her arm, and then Kagemine, Rin, and Len, they both have 2. And I believe that Luca's is 3. So she's treated, like her voice is more mature than Rin and Len, where they're like more boyish and youthful, but Luca's voice is more not quite in the realm of Meiko, like rich, deep jazz, but like kind of a medium tone, not super youthful sounding voice. It's very versatile, and when she was released, she got really popular. So there are essentially waves of popularity. Of course, Miku is always like basically number one, but you know, if there's a producer that really loves to use one Vocaloid, they'll make that Vocaloid popular. So there was an era where everyone was using Luca. There was a period of time where everyone was using Gumi. There's a period of time where everybody wanted to make a rock song with Rin. So if you like look back, you'll see like chapters of like Vocaloid history where one Vocaloid in particular is really popular. And we're living through one right now with Teto. Okay, everybody loves Kasane Teto. Kasane Teto is being used for almost every song. There is going to be a period of time where Kasane Teto is not super popular like she is right now. Another Vocaloid producer is going to rise up. They're going to have an iconic Vocaloid that they like to use. And then Kasane Teto is going to be kind of like mid-tier, which is not a bad thing. It's just something that happens. All the time. Anyway, Luca was used for a lot of different things. Her English voice bank was really good and really clear, so they started making there's this whole like chapter of Vocaloid history where people start making English music using Luca and Gumi, who we will get to. Her V2 outfit was my favorite. Yeah, I mean, I do like the original, but her hair looks silly. So Luca's not necessarily associated with a food that she consumes. Rather, her hair kind of looks like octopus tentacles. Like people thought that looked like a tentacle, this little long part. And so they kind of made this little tentacle looking Luca, and so this is kind of her mascot. Okay. Leia is a rock song that Luca is singing, and it's honestly so peak. But I do like Luca Luca Night Fever. If you've never experienced it, it's so fire. All right, 10 out of 10. But she's very like calm, reliable, older sister, not as old as Meiko and Kaito, but like old enough to take care of like Miku and then the Rin and Len shenanigans, because Rin is crazy, right? So she's really sweet and very mellow. Like, I wouldn't say shy, but like calm. There are some of her songs where she's crazy, but like in a low-key way, you know? Like, I don't want to say yandere, but like there's one. There's one. If you know, you know. Yeah. So Luca, okay, so all of those previous Vocaloids were owned under a company called Krypton Future Media, right? Krypton. So Krypton and Sega are associated. So any Vocaloid that's under Krypton can be used in Sega licensing. So Hatsune Miku, Rin, Len, Luca, they can all technically be in any Sega game. So that's why Hatsune Miku is in a Sonic game. And that's why every time you play a Miku rhythm game or any sort of Miku game that existed on like the PlayStation, you'll see that it's Sega because they have a contract together. Now, there are other Vocaloids that are using the Vocaloid software, which is Yamaha, that are not associated with Krypton, so you won't really see them in the same media as you'll see Miku, right? So the two biggest ones that you need to know is Gumi and Gakupo. Gakupo is not really used that much anymore, and I wish it would come back. So something that's kind of neat is, I don't want to say they're like celebrity Vocaloids, but they're Vocaloids based on people who sing that are already kind of popular. And Gakupo is like a cyber, if you can see, he's got like a glowy thing. He's like a cyber samurai based off of an actual singer called Gakt. Gakt is he's a little problematic as a person. He's kind of like, imagine like a host in like a host club mixed with Jersey Shore. That's kind of his life. So, you know, he looks nothing like Gakupo, but Gakupo's design is really, really good. so I can't say anything. He looks great. Obviously he's handsome, and part of his character type is he is just this handsome, pretty boy. You know that series I was talking about with the 7 deadly sins? Gakupo is lust. So the song associated with him is don't look up the lyrics. You know, it's one of those trust and believe, don't look up the lyrics. I would say, so his like first song, I guess his most iconic song, is called Dancing Samurai. I want you to look at the lyrics for the first few seconds because I want you to laugh really hard, okay? Because I feel like I can't say it on YouTube, but it's just shocking. It's shocking. It's really funny. I like Gakupo. He has a nice design, and he has a beautiful, like, really deep, warm voice. Like, it's very charming. His voice is very charming. And there was this, again, era of Vocaloid songs where it was, okay, I need you to walk with me here. I'm not condoning this. I'm just telling you what happened, okay? Because I lived through this, all right? I'm a veteran, okay? I've been in the trenches. So there was an era of Vocaloid songs. There's a few of them where Kaito and Gakupo are kind of fighting over Len in like a really weird, interesting, forbidden romance kind of situation. So the three of them together were kind of a unit at times. And honestly, the songs are fire. I'm not gonna lie to you, because a lot of them were like rock leaning, and it wasn't often where Kaito was used like in a rock context. We already know that Rin has been used for rock stuff all the time because her voice just really works for that. But it was like kind of the first time where Len and like Gakupo and Kaito together were used to make like something kind of like alternative and rock like, and I really liked it. Was the premise good? No, obviously not. Almost every song that Gakupo is in is inappropriate in some way, unfortunately. Is he fine? Absolutely though. Absolutely though. We're saying the same thing. Anyway, yeah, he I forgot I wrote he would be an incel if he wasn't so pretty. It's it's true. He's, yeah. Anyway, Gumi is a Vocaloid, and she is an English voice bank as well as a Japanese voice bank. And people heard her English voice and they're like, oh my goodness, she's amazing and incredible. We should make 7 billion songs with her in it. So they did. It was like a whole thing. Like, oh my goodness. Echo was one of them. Donut Hole, fire song. If you haven't seen the new animation for Donut Hole, I need you to go check that out because it's incredible. There are so many. Mosaic Roll, for example, fire song. So many songs came out like the year that Gumi got popular. So many. She was everywhere. And it was a shame because, again, Yamaha owns Vocaloid, but Miku is a Krypton Vocaloid and Gumi is an internet Vocaloid. So the issue is they didn't really have that many platforms that they could perform together. So for example, Miku Expo is like a Krypton event. So you won't see Gumi and Miku on the same stage at the same time. However, these Vocaloids, all 8 of them, so Gumi, Gakupo, Rin, Len, Luca, Meiko, Kaito, Miku, they were all a set. So there are some concerts where they were allowed to kind of do the thing because it was a neutral platform. So it wasn't owned by Krypton and it wasn't owned by internet and it wasn't a Yamaha thing, but it was like, I think it was a Nico Nico concert that they used to do. It was like a Nico Nico party concert. And because it wasn't associated with either, like it wasn't associated with Krypton, it was allowed for them to collab. So you would see the 8 of them like in the early 2010s doing concerts in Japan. It was only in Japan, and you would be able to see Gumi and Miku at the same time. Mind you, if you are creating a Vocaloid song, you can add whoever you want into it, okay? So if you wanted a song with Gakupo and Len in it, you could do that. If you wanted a song with Rin and Gumi in it, you could do that. Would it be harder for them to perform that song live at concerts? Yes. But again, you have free will. You can do whatever you want, you know? So, thank you. Of course. Find a normal Gakubo song, challenge impossible. Don't even start. Oh my goodness, you're right. Because the only normal songs he has are covers of songs that he usually doesn't sing. Come to Japan and please say it to real life God. No, I can't. I fear him. I feel like I can't say that much. This is a random rant, but I see Gact all the time on Japanese TV, and he's like the king of Japanese slop. That's what I'm saying. But fundamentally, I'm not a fan of Gact, but I'm a fan of Gakupo. That's my problem. You know what I mean? Like, he's got it going on. Anyway, his like iconic food is he looks like an eggplant. He has his hair tie kind of at the end of his like braid situation, so it makes his hair look like an eggplant. And then also, you know, the associations. You can do math. It's easy. Gumi looks like a carrot. Her hair is green. Her outfit is orange. It's always been this way. And they go, aha, carrot girl. Anyway, Gumi and Gakupo are kind of a set. They've always acted kind of like a set, but like Gumi's like the annoying younger sister, but not super annoying. Just like, if you have an older sibling, you understand that level of annoying, not like bratty, you know? But she's got some cool songs. They're really cool. Who's Gact? Japanese celebrity. He's old now. He needs to stop doing this. Anyway, because Gact is such a character, a lot of people don't use Gakupo's voice bank, but he recently got a new one. So maybe there's hope, okay? Maybe we'll get a revival. I'm hoping. Okay. The question I know some of you are thinking, where's Kasane Teto? Oh, Juni, Kasane Teto is a Vocaloid, isn't she? What in the world? Where's Kasane Teto? She's so popular now. Teto fans, man, they don't know their history. I'm about to tell you so you can be the smartest Teto fan out of the millions of Teto fans who don't know anything about Kasane Teto. You're welcome. So to talk about Teto, we have to talk about what Utao is. Utao is a program that's basically just like Vocaloid, the program. You remember what it looked like, kind of like this. But the cool thing about Utao is you can record yourself, create your own voice bank, and then do the same thing that you would do in a Vocaloid program. So, Kasane Teto, when I say Kasane Teto is an Utaoloid, that means that someone, like a fan, recorded their voice and then uploaded it to Utao and used it to make a song. So there's a bunch of fan-made Utaoloids, and Kasane Teto is one of them. So she wasn't hired by Yamaha or Krypton Future Media or anything like that. This is just like someone who wanted to be a Vocaloid that made a quote-unquote Vocaloid using a different program, right? We on the same page? Hopefully. It should be simple. It's like Mac versus Windows, and I would say that Krypton is Mac OS and Kasane Teto is like Linux. You know what I mean? Okay. Could be compatible. Could be in specific circumstances. Now is. So this is a fan-made character, Kasane Teto. On the left side, that is her original design. On the right side is what people currently associate her with. That's her official art for her new stuff now, right? She is kind of a joke. I'm not gonna lie, not in a bad way, but it's like, I'm gonna make my own Vocaloid, right? So her birthday's April 1st, and her food is a breadstick. I didn't talk about Miku's leek. Don't worry, you can do your own research and find out why Miku likes leeks. That's your homework. Figure it out. It's good. It's good though. It's funny. Kasane Teto's like token food is a breadstick, and there's like this chibi picture of her made in like 2000. It's got to be like 2010, where she's got like a breadstick in her hand because it's a parody of Miku holding a leek in her hand. Anyway, this is basically like, I'm Kasane Teto and I'm gonna be a Vocaloid one day. I look like I'm 15. I'm 30 something. Don't worry about that part. Listen, I'm 15 forever. Don't worry. Like, She's originally was a chimera, and so this little like thing she got going on is her tail, but I don't think that's really mentioned anymore. Look, and you can tell that her outfit's inspired by Hatsune Miku because it's the same like sleeveless top, pleated skirt, this little pattern on her quote-unquote tail, and the sleeves. So it's basically like, look, I'm Miku, but I have the drills instead of the twin tails. It's the same, you know. So for a really long time, she was an honorary Vocaloid. She's basically the most popular Utaholoid, or was for a really long time. There's a bunch of other ones that came up, about like 4 or 5 of them that got pretty popular, but never as popular as Kasane Teto, right? This is the only song that I picked that was my favorite out of like, I guess this whole PowerPoint that is like 2020s, because I don't really listen to the newer stuff, not all the time. It's gotta be really good for me to be like, listen, I gotta listen to this. Well, an honorary Vocaloid, to me, she's not actual voice bank in the Vocaloid program. Her recent voice bank is actually Synth V. Yes, okay, so Synth V and Krypton are like adjacent. I think they're both owned by Yamaha, and by proxy that makes her a Vocaloid. Synth V is another kind of like Utao, but more, I guess, canonically closely related to Vocaloid, enough to the fact where she has some of the same benefits and collaboration things as Krypton would have. So Kasane Teto and Hatsune Miku can be in concert together, and recently were in concert together. So that was really exciting. It was a really big deal for Vocaloid fans because Kasane Teto is basically like the fandom child that was made like canon, essentially. So I personally feel like she's like a little sister that like finally made it, you know? Like sometimes like when I explain Kasane Teto becoming a Vocaloid to people, like I get teary, which is so ridiculous, but I've been a fan of the same thing for more than 10 years. So I'm like, wow, I remember when Kasane Teto used to wear that Norwegian sweatshirt and sound really robotic, and now she's like on stage for Miku Expo. This is so cool. This would have never happened 10 years ago. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Okay. Oh yeah, Dream Tonics, you're right. Kasane Teto's Synth V voice bank is owned by HS. I see. But I think they don't have the same, I guess, how do I explain? Like the same contractual restrictions as Internet had on their voice banks, if that makes sense. And I think the issue with Internet's voice banks is because they're based off of actual popular celebrities, so I guess the contracts look different. Whereas voice banks like Miku and Kaito, they came in and they were like, hey, I want to make a voice bank. You're not being annoying, you're being correct, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much for correcting me. You're right. This is getting confusing. Okay, Yamaha is the father. Well, Yamaha is the grandpa. Okay. Synth. We'll start with Internet and Krypton are married. Okay. But their families don't really like each other, so they can't always be together. In some settings, like a cookout, for example, they can all be together and it's fine. There's no beef, there's no issues. But when it comes to certain concerts, they can't all be together at the same time because, like, Uncle Gakupo doesn't know how to act around Meiko, so you have to keep them separated, okay? It's a deal. Alright, essentially, it's that. Like how many people own Vocaloids, but they're not, then, okay. Okay, so Utaholoid is DIY Vocaloid. Vocaloid is... Okay, let me think about it in VTuber terms. Vocaloid is agency VTubers. Utaholoid is indie VTubers. Okay? Imagine if an indie VTuber got adopted into a VTuber agency. That's essentially what happened to Kasane Teto, where she was like an indie VTuber that got adopted and got better funding and a new model and a new microphone and got to be in concert with other agency VTubers from different agencies. This is how I'm explaining it the best way that I can. I think that makes sense. Okay. If you thought that was a lot of Vocaloids and Utaloids to think of, think again. Because you're wrong. Actually, there's more. Okay? There are a few I want to talk about. Not all of them, obviously. Because it's a lot. Okay. So, you know about Rin, Len, Luca, Kaito, Meiko, Gakpo, Gumi. Awesome. Sakura Miku is just Cherry Blossom Miku. There's no different. There's Teto. Defoco is another Utaloid. I think Ruko is also an Utaloid, but there's like a male and female version, but the whole thing is kind of gender neutrality, kind of like V-Flower. V-Flower is very gender neutral. Pico and Fukase are in songs a lot together, as well as Oliver. And where is he? There's another one. Where is the blonde boy? Where is he? Is he here? Oh, here he is. Yeah, so they're like the meme squad, quote unquote. Una is owned by the internet company, so it's Gakuba, Gumi, and Una are all together in a set. Miki is a Vocaloid. Big Al is associated with Sweet Anne because they're friends and they're kind of old. Neru is a different voice bank of Miku, basically. Haku, doesn't really exist anymore. Well, I don't really know how to explain what happened to Haku to be safe for the internet, so I'm just not going to talk about it. These two are twins, Kyoteru and Yuki. Kai Yuki. I want to talk about Kai Yuki because I like her a lot. So Kai Yuki, the voice actress for Kai Yuki was in kindergarten and recorded her voice banks then, and there was a hard rule that you could not use Kai Yuki to make any sort of sexual suggestive songs, period, because this is a child voicing this Vocaloid. Okay, this was many years ago, and I think it was for Vocaloid's 20th anniversary, and this makes me emotional, but I'm gonna be tough and strong. So Kai Yuki's voice actress obviously was in kindergarten when she started, and by the time the 20th anniversary came around, a lot of the voice actors and voice actresses wrote messages about, being a part of the Vocaloid team and like, wow, I can't believe 20-year-old me is immortalized and people are using it to make music. That's so cool. Kai Yuki wrote about how she was thankful everyone was cheering her on because she started off as a kid and now by the time of the anniversary, she's graduated college and she was really grateful that people were using her voice still. And she is someone who hasn't had a re-recording of her voice because she was a kid and now she is a whole adult. But it was really nice to know that she graduated and everything, I didn't know there were so many. There's more. Because again, you remember how I mentioned that there was a lot of Vocaloids that don't have official designs or super attached fan designs? This is just a few. One of my favorite... Oh, no, Rana's there. I was like, Rana's not here. Rana, I like. Yuzuki Yukari got popular by the time I was 14 or 15. Lily was popular with... Who was Lily around all the time? Lily, Neru, Haku were kind of a set. Vocal, and there's this pink Utaloid. I don't know where she is. She's she wears a little hat. I don't know where she is. Ia was really popular and was used for Mekaku City Actors, which is an anime. So almost every song in a Mekaku City Actors was voiced by Ia, and she was she had a whole era. It was 3 to 4 years straight where it was Gumi. I think it was either Gumi phased out into Ia being popular or Ia phased out into Gumi being popular, and then it was Luca, and then it was Rin Part 2. Yeah, it was basically the early 2010s. The 2010s was just female Vocaloids dominating. Kaito has been kind of having his year for the past few years, so 2021 onwards he's been having a bit of a run, but currently dominating is Kasane Teto, obviously, but it's not important. All of these are voiced by different people, okay? All of them have varying popularities. Aoi Lapis is a Chinese voice bank. There's a few different languages on here. Here's some twins. Canon and Anon are twins. I think actually. Yeah. CU is a Korean voice bank. Mayu was crazy. Like yandere crazy. VY2 is one of my favorite. That's the guy that didn't have a official design, that people just made him pink, and I love that. Ado is a real life singer. Yeah, Ado is a Vocaloid fan, but she is a real, she sings. I giggled to myself as I have the knowledge of several voice banks with no designs. Yes. And there are still voice banks being released. So if you think this is it, think again. Also, people are still making Vocaloids, so think again ×2. Who's like the worst one? What do you mean by worse? Do you mean worse by sound or worse by like overall like vibe? Because there's a right answer. I mean, technically not a right answer, but to me there's a right answer. Oh, I want to add Oliver, this one right here. He's got an eye patch on. He's got a little yellow bird named James. If you've ever seen Bee and Puppy Cat, Puppy Cat's voice is a voice bank, and Oliver is the voice provider. The worst sound? I can't say that any of them sound the worst. When are we gonna bring back Gallico, man? Gallico was so cool. She had like rainbow like streak in her hair, and she had a crown, and she sounded really sick. And then like after like 3 years, people stopped using her, and I'm really sad about it. I don't think Ada 2K, I don't really love the sound on because it's super robotic, but I think it's just the way that people tune it. So basically how this works is, here's the new Sweet Anne design, by the way. She looks normal like an anime girl right here. How it works is, okay, imagine them all as trumpets, but played by different people, okay? You can tell who is a beginner trumpet player versus someone who is a professional trumpet player, or a trumpet player that likes to do jazz versus a trumpet player who only plays classical music. You can hear a difference in the tone. So if I were to tune something, if I owned the Pico voice bank and I made a song and I have less experience, or I liked the more robotic sound that Pico has, and then Ube made a song using Pico, it would sound different. It's the same voice bank, but the way that it's used can sound completely different depending on the person who's using it. So I can't say that like any voice bank is bad. It's just like how the producer uses it and the context. You know, you like jazz? I do. Have you ever tried to make a Vocaloid song, Juni? Yes and no. I've never used the Vocaloid software, but I have messed around and made like instrumental for Vocaloid songs. So it's V6, so the quality's not great. V6 doesn't count. That's why I don't count it. V6 doesn't count. Hey, me mentioned, yeah. Ube P. My producer Ube. Okay, yeah. Anyway, these are a few of many. Remember, there's, I don't want to say there's 100, but there's probably a bunch more Vocaloids that you don't know exist that exist because they don't have cute anime art. Okay. They still sound good. Stan Danny. Danny sounds great. Everyone should use Danny. Thank you, Ube. Case closed. Anyway, concerts. We were kind of talking about concerts earlier. Nico Nico Music Party is the one where all of them were in, which I think is super cute. Miku Expo is the popular one. So something fun about the Vocaloid fandom as a whole is a lot of it is based on fans. So Krypton itself doesn't write that many songs. It's usually just a bunch of Vocaloid producers that write songs independently and aren't contracted to anyone. But if a company or Krypton likes the song enough, they'll be like, hey, can we like buy the rights to play the song in a concert? And then there's also a song contest every year for Miku Expo where you can submit a song. Anyone can submit a song. Any Vocaloid producer ever can submit a song, and one of them will be selected to play during Miku Expo, which is super sick. Like, you could just do that. Ube could just, like, make a super famous Vocaloid song and then be in concert. That just happens. I'm so happy I made an influence. You did. Everyone should listen to Danny. Yeah, he's good. I like Danny. I love Daniel. Anyway, Miku Expo is just for the United States. Well, not the United States, all of North America. So Mexico, Canada, United States, but you know. I think Miku Expo goes to Europe as well. So if you were to go to a Vocaloid concert in Europe or in the US, Canada, Mexico, it would be Miku Expo. Magical Mirai is like the essentially Miku Expo for Japan. So that goes on a national tour every year. I want to say like once a year, like maybe not in April. I think it might be like the end of summer. Like I feel like Magical Mirai is coming up. I could be wrong, but I know that Miku Expo is usually like March through like May or something like that. It's really cool. I do recommend going. I haven't been. I don't know if I'll ever go, but I hope to go, you know. But they do the same Vocaloid fan chants internationally or not. Like the Miku Miku Beam thing became really popular, and so that has become kind of like a Vocaloid staple. A few songs are Vocaloid staples for concert. One of them is Melt, and that used to be the song to close a concert. And I think it's been changing throughout the years, and I think Highlight is now the song that they end off the concert. Every Miku Expo kind of has a theme depending on what song wins and what kind of direction they're going in, you know? So it depends. There's also costume designing contest things, so your outfit could be on Miku during one of the songs. Super cool. Those kind of things. There's fan concerts, so if you have... Okay, wait. Can I talk about Miku Miku Dance? Miku Miku Dance is a 3D... Oh man, we didn't talk about any of the 3D Miku stuff. This is funny. Okay, so there is an application where you can upload 3D models of Vocaloid characters and make them dance around. It's called Miku Miku Dance, and if you were a fan and you wanted to choreograph your favorite Vocaloid dancing to a song, you could. And so what happens is a lot of people put together their favorite Vocaloids dancing to a song, and then they host a concert at a convention or something like that. So they put up the screen. So sometimes it's a projector. Sometimes if it's an official concert, they'll use a clear LED screen. It looks like this. So basically, it's transparent and it has an image on it. So you can see through the screen, but it makes the Vocaloid look like a hologram, right? So the fan concerts will kind of do something like that. Sometimes they just do the PowerPoint, but the official concerts have live music and this LED screen. So it's really dark in the concert hall, so it looks like it's just Miku on a stage, 3-dimensional. Super cool. Definitely recommend. Yeah, these are the main, essentially 6. So nowadays when you see Vocaloid art and Vocaloid stuff, these are like the 6 that are licensed because it's under like Sega, for example, like the Miku games are under Sega. So you won't see Gumi or Gakupo or Una in any of the Sega games because they're not licensed. Because Krypton is. Not internet, right? Different houses, you know what I mean? I think they might be trying to rework stuff with Synth V and Sega and stuff because Teto's super popular, but that hasn't happened officially yet. So as far as it stands, Kasane Teto is not officially in any Vocaloid games. Yeah, 3D mention. That's my stuff. Yippee! Yeah, you would love using... Okay. Because Miku Miku Dance was not only for... It wasn't just for Vocaloid stuff. Originally it was, but then people started uploading models. And, you know, what the biggest fandom was that used Miku Miku Dance after Vocaloid, I also happened to be in this fandom. Hitalia. Okay? So it was Hitalia characters, 3D modeled, dancing to Vocaloid songs using Miku Miku Dance. As a kid, I had Miku Miku Dance, and I would make Len do stuff, like I'd make him dance and stuff. And I had a great time. The models on that look super crunchy and old now, but some of the newer models are way too smooth. So it's kind of a give and take, you know, like it just depends on what you're going for, but man. And like the Kaito universe, guys, there was like 6 different Kaitos. They were all different colors and they all had different personalities. Okay, anyway. Just existing on the internet when people were making silly things where they would make like the Vocaloids talk instead of sing, and they were talking to each other, and then to animate it they would use Miku Miku Dance, was hilarious. It was such a great time to be on the internet, honestly. You could just do stuff like that. Time to put Juni model into MMD. No. No. I would pay to see for a moment as a vocal synth game. Ooh. Listen, if Tato works out, then this could happen. Okay, we're talking about Vocaloid games, and I'm going to give you the rundown of Project Sakai because I talk about it in the server, and every time I post a picture of these characters, you're like, Juni, what the heck? These aren't Vocaloids, or are they? No. Okay. So I'm sharing with you my hyperfixation, so just bear with me because you're going to tell which characters I care about and which characters I really don't care that much about. I apologize in advance, okay? I don't know anything about Hanami. I don't really know anything about Airi because I don't like her. Listen, just hear me out, okay? Just hear me out. I will give you as much information that I know that I care about. Okay? Basically, Project Sakai, if you've ever played an idol-based rhythm game, Ensemble Stars, or Bang Dream, or Love Live School Idol Festival, it's all essentially the same, okay? There are multiple groups of singers. They're all voiced. They're not Vocaloids, okay? They're voiced like normal, and they are singing songs or covers of songs as groups. For example, these are the groups in Project Sakai. This one is just Vocaloids, okay? All of these are different groups, and as you can tell, wow, a different Hatsune Miku for every group? Yes, basically. We love hyperfixations. Okay, so basically, Sekai is like the Japanese word for world. Okay, so this is basically how Project Sakai works. It's also known as the English name Hatsune Miku Colorful Stage, okay? But most people just call it Project Sakai, so if you see PJSK, that is Project Sakai, okay? Same game, same thing. So, a Sakai is a world made out of someone's very strong feelings. So it's like a pocket dimension made by someone who has very strong feelings about a particular thing in their life. So, for example, one of the Sakais was made because one of the characters had a sister who was really sick and in the hospital. And so he created this like little pocket dimension where it was born out of the feeling of wanting to make his sister, who wasn't doing well, smile and to make her happy and make her sickness feel less scary, which I think is really beautiful, right? So there's a Sakai for every group here that exists. As you can tell, they're all different, and every group has like a quote-unquote main character, but not every main character created their Sakai, but everybody that's in their group can enter the Sakai. So it's a pocket dimension. So everyone in More Jump can enter the More Jump pocket dimension. Okay. But anyone from any other group cannot enter theirs. So for example, like Tsukasa Tenma cannot enter the Vivid Bad Squad pocket dimension. He like basically doesn't have the internet password. That's just how it works. They just don't have the password. Anyway, they're kind of grouped together by like who goes into the Sakai and like their friends, and yeah. A pocket dimension? My pocket already has 3 of them. Well, you're missing 2. Oh, like Miku Who Can't Sing movie? This is what the Hatsune Miku movie is based off of. Okay? The movie wasn't made for the game. The game existed and then the movie was made, you know? So it wasn't like oh, we're gonna do this cool premise and put it in a movie. It's more like the movie was the summary of Project Sekai, and then they added like fun stuff, right? Basically, yeah. We would not be watching the PowerPoint if he did not... What? Like hearing people yap about their hyperfixations. It's true. It's true. It's true. I'm here. Okay. Pocket dimensions. We're gonna break them down. Did I put them in a good order? I didn't put them in the order I would have wanted to do them in. But we're gonna start with Vivid Bat Squad. It's fine. It's fine. Nope. I'm lying. We're starting with Wonderland Showtime because this is the reason I started playing Project Sekai. I heard a Vocaloid song and I was listening to it and I was like, these are people singing. Who are these people? They sound great. I love the song. Where can I find it? Okay. Wonderland Showtime. You know that guy I was talking about where he made a pocket dimension because his sister was sick and he wanted to see his sister smile? This is Tsukasa Tema. He is the main guy. You have seen his face on the server a lot because he annoys me and I love him very dearly. He's got a bit of an ego problem. He's like, I'm gonna be the greatest star actor ever, period, point blank. There is no other way about it. Okay, and here are his friends. Robo Nene is not important anymore. Okay, so this is Nene. She's shy. Well, she was originally really shy and had stage fright and wanted to be an actress in like a play or an opera. She really loves The Little Mermaid, so a lot of the things that has to do with her is like ocean themed. She's also a gamer, like kind of sweaty about it, but like really low key, but she's a sweaty gamer. Okay. Childhood best friends with Rui. This is Rui. Kamishiro. He's got... Alright, listen. He's socially awkward. Well, I'll say he's socially awkward. Not anymore. He's kind of got that like cat personality that you see in anime where more like a fox, where they're kind of sly and they do that like half smile and they're like ooh hoo hoo, you know what I mean? So he's like a young like genius inventor and he's friends with Tsukasa Tema. So okay, they all work together and perform on stage at amusement parks. Okay, just this one amusement park. So he does all of the like stage engineering stuff. He built this robot because they're childhood friends and she's really shy but she wants to perform. So the robot has a speaker in it. So the robot can go out on stage and be like, it's me, Nene, and sing. But she got over her stage fright. It was this whole lore thing. Anyway, they're friends. They're classmates also, which is chaotic because he's like, hey, I want to make like a cannon. Do you want to test it out with me? I'm making explosives at the amusement park. Do you want to see it? It's for the show. And he's like, oh boy, would I? It's gonna make me shine like the beautiful, bright Pegasus star that I am. Absolutely. And she's like, why are you doing this? This is Emu Otori. Emu means smile. Okay. She is basically a Nepo baby. Not in a bad way though. Like in a really good way. Okay. So we love her. Her grandfather owned the amusement park that they're performing at. So her parents and I guess her older brothers own the amusement park now, and she's set to eventually own said amusement park. Okay, so she's like, I really just want people to smile and have a good time. I had a really close relationship with my grandpa, and like, I want my friends to smile, and I want to perform on the stage, and everyone's smiling, and I want to just share my joy with the world. And we love her. There has been like a joke where Ami is Tsukasa Tema, and I'm Emu Otori, because we're like enabling each other to have fun and whimsy max. They whimsy max. So to summarize kind of the plot points that are happening right now, which is why me and Arcana are tweaking out on the server. So Nana gets over her stage fright and she is performing in operas, and she's like, oh well, I'm too shy to, you know, actually get myself out there. And Rory's like, you're not going to improve unless you get yourself out there. Like, you're dragging everyone down if you don't fix your face and get out there. So she gains the confidence. She starts singing. She's doing really well. Tsukasa Tenma doesn't really have natural talent. He has determination and willpower. So one of his biggest problems right now is that he's a method actor. And, you know, he was all like, haha, hee hee, everything is awesome. He's got trauma, okay? Because his sister was sick in the hospital. So he was basically a glass child, meaning usually when you have like a disabled sibling or a sibling who's chronically ill, your parents will spend more time and energy toward that child to make them feel comfortable. So the siblings of like ill children feel kind of ignored. So, you know, he is stepping into these newer roles because he's becoming an actor and he's really enjoying himself, but he's stepping into roles that are more challenging. And so he has to face emotions that are more difficult because he's a method actor. So he's been like, oh man, I have to experience loneliness and grief. What do I think about? My parents abandoning me and all of my friends leaving me. And this is what despair feels like, where no one believes in me anymore and I stopped believing in myself. So he's crashing out. That was a year ago. This year, a few weeks ago, he was casted as like a serial killer in like a play that he was in. And he's like, all right, time to pull out the method acting hack. How do I act this way? Because I'm actually very happy and content with my life. And it's like, okay, there's this director guy. If you've seen that guy with the brown hair and the glasses, where every time there's a picture of him, me and Arcana are like, we need to roast this guy. We need to end this guy. We need to take him off the planet. It's because he's an older guy. He's a mentor to Rui as well because he's been in the industry for a while. And he goes, hey, so you're a method actor. Okay, what about thinking about killing your parents? How about that? How about you just push them downstairs? How about you remember how your parents didn't spend that much time with you? How about you dwell on that? How about that? You know, he was like choking somebody out on the stage because he was method acting. Like, and this guy's making him worse. He's like 17 years old. What do you mean? Why are you telling a 17-year-old to do this? So we hate him. If you see me hating Sasaki, it's because he's a terrible adult. Okay, he's a bad influence. Tsukasa Tenma's fine. He's gonna be okay. He just kind of tweaks out when he has to method act and be an actor that's not happy. Okay, because he needs therapy. We learned that. Emma's doing great. She's getting older, so that means that she's going to own the amusement park soon. And she's putting her foot down. She's a woman of business. All right? And people are going to take her seriously, but not super seriously because she still wants people to be happy, but seriously enough that, like, stockholders are going to take her seriously. So she's working on herself. Rui's figuring out what kind of director he wants to be, how to push people because he doesn't want to push them too... Well, he wants to push them too hard, but he also needs to know limits, and he also doesn't want to push people away. So that's kind of what's going on with them right now. They do a lot of covers of like upbeat kind of songs lately. Still kind of upbeat, but some of the song meanings are a little dark. But the cool thing about this game itself is that every character that gets an arc lately has been getting a custom commissioned song. So, for example, there's a Nene event, right? And the song that's commissioned is commissioned by a Vocaloid producer who uses like Miku or Rin or Len, and there's always a Vocaloid featured in a song. So for this little pocket sekai, there's like a full suite of like carnival, arcade, amusement park themed Vocaloids. For example, this Miku is like very, you know, cat-like. She's got a big tail. She's got a circus tent skirt. There's a Kaito that has like a little mustache, like a bow tie. And then Luca, she's got like purple and like orange on. So everyone's themed to the sekai, right? So that's pretty cool. This is like Pocket Dimension Miku. There's normal Miku, but this one is different than the normal Miku, but still Miku, okay? Why do I relate method actors with like the Phantom of the Opera? Yeah, you're there. You're there. That's basically, yeah. Yeah. Okay, these are Discord moderators. I'm kind of joking, but I'm actually not. Okay, so this is Night Chord. People usually call them Niji. So all of them are Discord friends, and they write music at 1 in the morning. Topical considering what time it is. So they're mentally ill. The best way to describe it is they're mentally ill. A lot of their songs are edgy, really cool. A lot of the songs that they've covered are like really classic Rin rock songs about like hating school and life and jumping in the nuclear reactor. You know, that kind of vibe. Their songs have been fire. Okay, fire. Heat Abnormal was fantastic. The song allegedly was so hard for them to sing that they revived their group chat just to talk about how hard it was, which I think is hilarious. Mind you, these are sung by real people and also Hatsune Miku or one other Vocaloid themed to their sekai. This sekai, so the main character, quote unquote, for the sekai is Kanade. However, she did not create the sekai. Mafuyu, the purple one, made the sekai. As you can tell, she has very soulless eyes. Her issue, and this is so, they're so toxic for each other, it's awful. This is the issue with their sekai. Mafuyu is like an all A's honors student, top of her class, got her mess together, but she's crumbling under the academic pressure because she has been formed to be the perfect child and does not know who she is as a person because she was just the person that like pleased her mom. And you know, this is probably a common thing where people are like, all right, I finally academically achieved. What do I do? Right? So she's really depressed, and when she's by herself, not performing and not masking, she doesn't know who she is. She's like completely dissociated and suicidal and not having a great time. Okay? So she creates the sekai and it's empty. I mean, it's got like pillars and stuff, but it's like gray and empty, and the Miku is very gray and empty, and this Miku kind of comforts Mafuyu, but Mafuyu does not want to leave the sekai now because she's like, well, I got nothing going on in the outside world, so I'm gonna just stay in here and like die, I guess. Which is an issue. Kanade is a music producer and she makes music, and she's like, I have to save Mafuyu. If no one's gonna save Mafuyu, I have to do it. I want my music to save people, okay? So she's like, all right, join my emo band. Join my emo band. So they write music. Mafuyu sings. Kanade produces the music. I forgot what music he does. I don't... Girl, I don't know. You're complicated. You're complicated. Anna does art. So together they work together. They record the music asynchronously, put it together. I think... Mizuki probably... I don't know. Or like arranges the music. I assume. That's my guess. I don't really know. Anyway, Kanade is like, man, I gotta save Mafuyu because she's gonna like not be alive. But Kanade's issue is she doesn't want to really live unless she's saving people. So as Mafuyu is getting better, Kanade is like, all right, I write music to save people. If everyone is saved, then I'm done and I have no reason to exist. Or I'm gonna work to write music to save people. If it doesn't save Mafuyu, I have no reason to exist. So it's a terrible cycle because if Mafuyu gets better, then Kanade gets worse. Okay? And if Kanade gets better, then Mafuyu gets worse. And then they make each other worse. So they're really codependent on each other. They're figuring it out. Kanade is the only member in this entire cast that does not go to school publicly. She goes to online school. So she's a hikikomori, doesn't really socialize with people. Everybody kind of drags her out. I think it's really funny because everyone has these matching outfits, and all the time it's like she's got this like oversized like sweater. Like she's got shoes on today. Like I don't think she always has shoes on. It's like socks, right? So she forgets to eat, and Mafuyu is making friends at her all-girls school, right? So she's like learning to be herself, you know, which is good. Mizuki and Enna, okay. So Mizuki is complicated as a character, was bullied in middle school, friends with Rui, so the guy with the purple hair in the other group. And the secret is that Mizuki is born male. And that has been a secret for a really long time because Mizuki didn't tell anyone. None of their friends. Nothing at all. So when that comes out, Anna, who's this one, finds out and she's like, oh man, I wish you had told me. But Mizuki sees Anna's face and it's like, oh my goodness, she hates me forever and all of my friends hate me forever and I'm gonna disappear. Like, it was a huge, weird story plot that if you played through that story, she would disappear after a certain chapter of the story and not come back. So it was like, hey, do you want to play this chapter? Mizuki's gonna disappear off the map. Period. So that was a whole thing, but everything's fine now. Music is good. Okay. But just to recap quickly, Amu Otori goes to the all-girls school and everyone else goes to the co-ed school. Okay? They all go to... No. Mafuyu goes to the girls' school. Mizuki goes to the co-ed school. Kanade stays home. Anna... I think she goes to the all-girls school as well. Yeah, because she would have killed her brother. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, emo group, they're all making each other worse. Anna really cares. Well, she used to care a lot about social media influencer stuff. So she's like, I want everyone to look at me and pay attention to me. Please pay attention to me. Please look at me. She's really good friends with Mizuki. So they're figuring themselves out. All right. They got some bangers, though. They got some good songs. But I wanted to double back because there's siblings now in play. Anna's brother is Akito. This guy. Akito's hair is definitely dyed. He's definitely not a natural ginger. I don't think so. His dad has like brown hair. Yeah. So this is Vivid Bat Squad. As you can see, it's like cool streetwear Miku. Okay. Where do I even start with them? Let's start with why they're together. Okay, so there were two separate groups originally. Two pairs of people. Okay. Whose Sakai is this? Kohane is the main character in this group, essentially. I think it's her Sakai, but I don't really know. Basically, their Sakai is probably An's, to be honest. Okay. Kohane, An, Akito, Toya. You see him all the time in the server because I love him very much. He is my sweet, precious boy. So... So there were two pairs of groups. They're basically like a rap group. Okay, so originally Kohane is a little bit shy to sing, but she really likes alternative, like streetwear kind of vibe. She's super into it. She loves this neighborhood that does like graffiti and is really artistic and stuff. An's father owns a cafe in like a kind of artsy district and used to sing and be in a cool band. I think it was Akito when he was a kid or An when she was a kid. She watched this like live show kind of garage band performance called Rad Weekend. And I think the group that performed was Rad Weekend. And there was this like annual big event where all of them like perform and rap and do cool music. You know, it was like garage band kind of stuff, right? And all four of them, well, at least three of them were like, I'm gonna surpass Rad Weekend. Like, we're gonna be cooler than Rad Weekend. Before, there were two separate groups. So there was the Vivids, and I think they were Bad Dogs, right? The boys and the girls were together. So Kohane's shy, and she's like, oh, I don't know about doing all this. And An's like, I think you should do it. I think your voice sounds amazing. And we're gonna surpass Rad Weekend. And then Akito's like, I don't want anything else but to surpass Rad Weekend. I don't want anything else, and I'm gonna be the best, okay? And no one's gonna stop me from being the best because I'm the best. I don't care about this neighborhood. I don't care about any of you. I'm gonna surpass Rad Weekend by myself or however is the most efficient way necessary, okay? He's a bit of a tsundere. Don't mind him. Okay, Toya, poor thing. Toya grew up as like a violin, piano prodigy, okay? So his parents are super strict and they're like, you have to be the best of the best at classical music. This whole street stuff, you need to stop because this is distracting you and you need to play violin because what are you doing? we pay good money for you to be the best violinist. And he kind of stopped loving music because it was forced on him. And then he kind of found this revival in music by like doing kind of garage band tomfoolery. And he's like, wow, music is super cool actually. And I really love it. And I don't feel like I'm forced to do it. Right? So Akito's like, you're super talented. I'm super talented. And I'm going to surpass Red Weekend. We should surpass Red Weekend. They go against each other, all like the two pairs. And they're like, wait, we could surpass Red Weekend. I think. Do I think they do it? I feel like they have done it. I'm pretty sure they've done it already. So I guess they're figuring themselves out. I know that they had this whole chapter where they went to America, which was hilarious. They make really good music. Kohane's voice is very like cute and idolish. And then An's voice is pretty powerful and not super tomboy, but like it's got a really good range. Akito sounds softer. Oh, well, this is Akito. Akito sounds, I guess, more boyish. And then Toya sounds very soft. So having them sing together is really cool. I love it. I think they sound cool. I used to not like them, but then their songs got better. And I was like, okay. All right, I'm about it. They can surpass Red Weekend. It's fine, right? Male tsundere? Yeah. Okay, so Toya, this guy, is friends with Tsukasa Tenma, childhood friends. The reason is like they lived near each other and Toya's dad was super strict, and so he would come over to hang out with the Tenmas. So Tsukasa and his sister Saki, we'll get there. So they're basically quote unquote considered a family. So a lot of the time when you see the Tenma siblings, you will also see Toya there because he's basically adopted because his dad sucks. Okay, so that's where we're at. Whoa, this reminds me, Miku Can't Sing movie. This is what the Miku movie is based off of. It's based off the game. So all of these characters should be familiar for you. The Sekai should be familiar. This Sekai in particular, Hatsune Miku cannot cook. They're basically running a coffee shop. Like the Sekai is like a little coffee shop. Kaito is more flirtatious than he usually is. A little bit silly. Miku can't cook, which was in the movie. Meiko cooks for them, so she's like doing that big sister thing. Luca is super chill, streetwear. You know, and Rin and Len are like, let's make music. We're gonna suppress Red Weekend. We're so sick, right? Niji, everyone is kind of depressed and moody. Luca's a little bit devious. She's like, well, Len is really shy in this Sekai. He's like, oh, I don't want to hurt anyone. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm taking up space. Am I breathing too loud? You know, Luca's like an instigator. Like, she'll rage bait. She's like, oh, if only someone did something about this. Kaito is very like tsundere, like angry. And Meiko's very straightforward, so they argue, and there's a picture of them like arguing, and we call that Kaime divorce, okay? Because Kaito and Meiko are shipped together a lot of the time, and they were yelling at each other, and they're like, oh my gosh, they're getting divorced. So, don't worry, they reconciled, so it was fine, but it was good. Anyway, we talked about who else has a sibling. You have a sibling. You quote unquote have a sibling. You have a sibling. Okay, we're fine. Okay, so these two groups have siblings in them, so I just wanted to make sure. Okay, more Jump, I used to not like at all, period. I'm so sorry. I've changed my ways. I already had some good songs. And the lore was kind of fire, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so I changed my mind. Okay, if you've experienced Love Live, you understand how this works. Minori essentially is Hanukkah, okay? So Minori is a big idol fan, all right? She loves idol culture. She loves seeing people perform on stage, and one day she wants to become an idol too. I believe the Sekai is formed by Haruka. We'll get there. So Minori's like Oshi is Haruka. Haruka has been performing for a really long time as an idol, and she retired because she fell out of love with it. Minori is like, what do you mean? My Oshi is graduating, basically. Airi, I think, was a childhood actor or actress and became an idol. She fell out of love with it. Shizuku has been an idol for a really long time. people don't really talk to her because they assume she's mean because she's so pretty. So people get really jealous of her, but she really loves being an idol, but she fell in love with it because people were treating her differently. She was getting all these modeling contracts and everyone was like, ugh. She's so stuck up when she's just like shy and like really loves her sister. Like the most normal person ever. So they all go to the all-girls school and Minori's like, I'm gonna audition to be an idol. And they're like, okay, like it kind of sucks though, but like if that's what you want to do, whatever. And Haruka and Minori go to the same school, and Minori's like, oh my goodness, my Oshi goes to my school, this is amazing, please, 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 please teach me how to be an idol, please, please. And she's like, okay, well, I've already done it, so I might as well teach you how to become an idol. And then these other two ex-idols kind of, they know each other from like kind of being around each other, and it's like, okay, well, if this girl's gonna try to be an idol, I mean, I think it's a stupid idea. Irie, she's a tsundere, you can tell. She's got a little tooth, so that's how you know. So she's like, yeah, no, I think this is dumb. Whatever. And Shizuku's like, oh, be nice. You know, like, it's her dream. So, like, whatever. You know, might not be for us, but it's for her. And they all end up falling back in love with being idols. And then they make their own group and they become an idol group. Yay, the end. Haruka was really, really popular. And so the Sekai is based on, like, a stage, like an idol stage with a bunch of, like, glow sticks. And so they practice there and they dance there and they perform there, like, for the first time. And it's really cute. Anyway, idol group. It's necessary for every game like this to have a purely, like, idol culture idol group. And that is More Jump. Okay, Shizuku has a sister. And this is the most important, okay? Because if you're in the server, you know that we talk about Shiho a lot. You have seen her because we love her. Me and Arcana love her. Ube is kind of neutral in Project Sekai. Fair enough. But me and Arcana love Shiho. Every Sunday is Shiho Sunday. Okay, we still have, well, I won't be here next Sunday. I'll be graduated already. But just remember, Shiho Sunday is a thing, okay? So Shiho is the younger sister of Shizuku. And Shizuku's like, I love my sister. My sister's the cutest girl in the whole world. Look how precious she is. She's so beautiful. Like, obsessed. Mind you, all of these girls go to the all-girls school. Co-ed school, co-ed school. Kohane is the only one that goes to the all-girls school. Co-ed, obviously. All the boys go to the co-ed school. All of these girls go to the all-girls school. They're childhood friends. And they witnessed like a meteor shower together when they were kids. And they made a promise to each other where they would spend like together like forever, always connected, right? And so they fell in love with music and they wanted to like make a group one day. What happened was, if you remember Tsukasa Tama, you will see the similarity. This is his sister Saki, the one that got sick when she was a kid. This is Saki. So they have this awesome time. They make this promise and they're like, we're gonna hang out with each other forever. I love you girls so much. And then Saki gets super sick, so she stops going to school and the friend group kind of falls apart. And so after a few years, they stop talking to each other. Shiho kind of doesn't talk to anybody. Ichika is like the main character of the game, period. I think she was casted because of her voice. Nothing wrong with that. She sounds great. But she's like the leader of the group. And she's like, oh, well, Saki's back in school now after she's been sick for a really, really long time. She's finally well enough to go back to school. This is incredible and amazing. Great. We're gonna get back together and make our band, right? Right? And Shio's like, I don't want to talk to any of you. Honami, this is Honami. She wants to like kind of bring the friend group back together. And she's like, hey guys. She's like really shy. She plays drums. So obviously light music club stereotype. She's there. She's like, hey guys, maybe we should like, you know, not argue and like be friends again. Please. Please. And Ichika and Shiho are like, no, listen, because Shiho wants to do her own thing. And she's like, I don't want to trust you guys because like last time we made a promise, nobody kept it. And I'm having issues with you guys and I'm trying to take music seriously and you guys are goofing off. Okay, so they eventually resolve their issues and they're like, okay, listen, like we're going to make this group. because everybody's good at different things. I think Saki learned piano from her brother Tsukasa Tema. Tsukasa Tema and Saki Tema both play piano. And I think Toya plays violin, and I think also plays piano. So all three of them, musical kids, beautiful. Saki is playing piano. It's less physically taxing on her, but she still has these moments where like she is like, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm still like chronically ill. LOL. Gotta lay down real quick kind of thing. Honami is very gentle, like motherly, big sisterly. So Honami becomes friends with like Shizuku and like because mind you, they all go to the same school, so this is the all girls academy. So she becomes friends with like Shizuku, and she becomes friends with Mafuyu, the super depressed girl. So that's really helpful because they cook together and like they become more socialized. They know Emu Otori, so like the really excitable amusement park girl, which is really good because they need that, right? Like, so it's really good that they get to interact with each other. Shiho becomes very, very serious about music. So currently in their like storyline, Shiho really wants to become a professional musician by any means necessary, with or without them, but like really wants to push them to become better musicians so she can reach her goal at the same time. One of the problems that Saki is facing is that she decided to be a part of this kind of like group with them, and everyone has their own individual goals. And now that everyone's achieving their goals and everyone's getting to the age where they're graduating and they have plans, she feels like she's being left behind. So she's like, wait, okay, like I thought we were gonna be like Leonid forever. This is Leonid, by the way. I thought we were gonna be Leonid forever. What happened? You know, so like she's looking all sad in her newest cards, but I'm sure they figure it out, you know. Like, mind you, Shiho plays bass, Ichika plays lead guitar, and she's a lead vocalist. Their Miku's kind of like school themed. Their Sekai is based on a classroom. So they practice in the school Sekai. This is the only Sekai where Kaito wears glasses. He's shyer. He looks cute. We love him. Obviously, Saki plays piano, and Honami plays drums. Obviously. But yeah, that's Leonid. When I was thinking about VAngeli, I wanted to kind of have enough people to do a cover song from Project Sekai because there's 5 of them. Hint, hint. So there's 4 bass members and then 1, usually to 2, Vocaloids that represent that group along with the different Miku. So for Leonid, I think the Vocaloid for Leonid is Luca. The Vocaloid for More Jump is Rin. The Vocaloid for Night Court is it Miku? I want to say it's Miku. The Vocaloid for Vivid Bad Squad is 2 of them. It's Meiko and Len. And then the Vocaloid for Wonderland Showtime is Kaito and also Miku. So the Miku verse is crazy. Yeah, this Miku is the same as this Miku is the same as this Miku is the same as this Miku. Yeah. So that's basically the lore of Project Sekai. It's a rhythm game with story aspects, so just get good at rhythm games and you can watch all the story lore. If you download the game, you can go back and watch all of the story stuff in chronological order. There's also like concerts in the game, so you could like watch concerts and you can collect cards of beautiful characters. So there's something called a World Link event, which means that when a World Link happens, every character gets a fancy like 4-star card, which is what we love. But usually those are crossover episodes. So right now there's an event happening where everybody gets to realize that everyone else has a Sekai. For example, Saki and Tsukasa live in the same house. Okay. But they don't really communicate the fact that they both have pocket dimensions that they go to hang out with their friends with. So they're kind of keeping it a secret from each other. But for this event, it's basically like an AU where they realize, oh, wait a minute. You also have one of these? So the funny thing about that is that it's a different group of people. So for this like cycle of it, it's really funny because the siblings are in it. So I think for this one, it's Akito, Nene, I think. And then Anna. So Akito and Anna live in the same house, finding out that each other has a pocket dimension. So Anna and Akito kind of are the typical, like, little sister, older brother dynamic where, like, they rage bait each other. And, like, Anna will eat, like, the last of Akito's food and then pretend like she doesn't care. And then he gets, like, really pissed about it. Normal sibling stuff, you know. So they're finding out that each other has a pocket dimension. They're gonna, like, bully each other. I can't wait. So that one was really sweet. I think it's Anna, and then it's Iris in that group. And then I don't know who the last one is in that group. It might be Honami because I don't remember. Yeah. But the cycle before that was Kaito, Toya, Rui, Mizuki. Who was in that one? I never remember anything that Mormor Jump does. Never. It might have been Shizuku. And someone here. Yeah. So all of the World Link events basically have a theme. Right? So for the one with the Mizuki and Toya and Ryu, it's kind of like really like it's finding who they are, you know, after suppressing who they were for so long. Like, for example, Toya was a classical musician and found himself by performing in Vivid Bat Squad kind of thing. So that was a really cute event. Yeah. But yeah, that's basically Vocaloid lore. Project Sakai is totally not relevant, but because I talk about it so much, it's only fair that before I graduate, I give you context. I'm not a crazy person. I will be continuing posting pictures of Shiho because she's gorgeous and I love her. And they all sound really cool. Tsukasa Tema is one of my favorite voices ever in this kind of game. So I'm really happy about it. Kaito sounds great. I'm glad we got to talk about, like, Danny. I'm glad we got to talk about Danny. That's all. I did it. Yay. It's 2 in the morning. Let me go to bed. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, guys, for letting me ramble. The VOD will be up, so if you missed it, sorry. You're gonna be here for 2 hours. Yeah. I think I have a stream. I do have an off collab with Jemmy tomorrow, so if you check out Jemmy Roka's channel tomorrow, you'll be able to see me. I don't know if see me is actually something that will happen. I'll bring my phone. I'm not sure if I use VTube Studio. I'm not sure how. So we're doing an off collab. So basically, I'm going to Jemmy's house and we're going to talk. So I don't know if I'm going to use a PNG or what's going to happen, but we're going to figure something out. I'm sure she's done one before, so she knows how this works. But you may see me tomorrow, but I will be on Jemmy's channel. So you will hear me tomorrow at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So I gotta sleep because that's not technically tomorrow. It's technically today in a few hours. So 6 p.m. Does Shigure Ui count as a Vocaloid? I don't know. Hold on. I can tell you by looking at their face. You know, I keep seeing her and I'm not sure because I keep seeing her and I keep hearing her as a voice bank, but at the same time I know that she's an actual singer because she's like in Hollow. So I want to say that she's an Utauloid. I want to say that she's an Utauloid because I don't think she's officially licensed, but yeah, something like that. PowerPoint great too. Thank you. Yeah, it would probably be an Utauloid, so not a Vocaloid, but basically Vocaloid adjacent, you know? So, similar software, just not Vocaloid, licensed. So, she wouldn't be in a concert with Hatsune Miku unless it was fan-made. But, yeah, something like that. Juni Sensation, whatever that means. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited for that. I should be able to be there for an hour. Yay! Yeah, I'm gonna go hang out with Jemmy tomorrow, so you guys can come hear me. If you haven't checked Jemmy's Twitter, she made a post that's a Google form. We're talking about things that inspire people. So if you want to go fill out the Google form and put in what inspires you, I'd love to hear it. We're reading them on stream. So I'm excited because it's one of those things I wanted to talk about. So we're doing basically like a little radio show / podcast situation. So it's going to be nice. Amazing presentation. Please make a playlist. Yes. Yes, not tonight, but please ping me sometime before I graduate. I will do it because, well, okay. I need your opinion first. If I make this Vocaloid playlist, can I add all of the classics, or should I avoid the classics that are morally dubious? Because most of Vocaloid songs from that era are morally dubious. So I just want to know what I can and cannot add. A voice Sona. Ooh, that's one I haven't heard of before. Voice Sona. Oh, it's like a V-synth kind of thing. Oh, it's like it's Savio. I remember Savio. Yeah, in a current state of V6. No, keep her in synth V. I see. Avoid the morally okay, so you want like 2 songs. Maybe I'll make 2. I'm not really sure how to breach this because, I mean, it's kind of a rite of passage. I'll figure it out. It's gonna be fun. Because I think Daughter of Evil and Servant of Evil have to go in the playlist because it's like a whole thing. So I feel like you have to witness it at least once. If it's not in the regular rotation for you, that's fine. You can add and remove whatever songs you want. I'm just giving you the base, you know? So I'll probably put that in there. Like old songs like Teto Territory, newer songs. I don't really want to put that many newer songs in there. You can find those on your own. Yeah. You just need the Vocaloid algorithm so I can put together a playlist after I sleep because it is 2:05 in the morning. So I'm going to bed. Thank you so much for watching my PowerPoint, and sorry that stream crashed like 6 times before this all happened. So I've heard all the songs you like. Cool. Ooh. I have a favorite Vocaloid song, but I think I'm going to keep that one in the cellar and take it with me to my VTuber grave because it's my favorite and I don't really want to have to explain myself. So, yeah. Good night, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow on Jemmy's channel, Jemmy Roca, youtube.com/JemmyRoca, or twitch.tv/JemmyRoca. Yeah, okay. It's just so weird to end stream because I know that it's one of the last ones, you know, so I'm like stalling a little bit. Anyway, I'm gonna go to bed. Good night.